Evening guys, hi, hope everybody's doing really well. It's Rob back for another video. This is my second video of 2022 and it is another vinyl tag. So yeah, I've already done Rob Walker's questions, his 22 questions for 2022. This is Stunty's turn, so Stuntrock Confusion. French guy living in Sweden. Sure, you've all seen his videos and are aware of him. I basically wanted to do this because it's interesting. Questions are quite varied. Some of them have a bit of a crossover with Rob's, but there's a lot that are different. And variety is the spice of life. What the hell, let's just all be harmonious, man. And let's just enjoy the fun, which is what it's all about at the end of the day. If it stops being fun, I'm going to stop making videos. I'm certainly not going to get into any political wrangling or stuff over these kind of things. At the end of the day, I think the last 2 or 3 years there's been more than one vinyl tag, and the official vinyl tag or not doesn't really matter. At the end of the day is that you just enjoy doing it. Okay, so let's not waste any more time and let's crack on with it. Show first record you got in 2021. Okay, that was this one. It's the long-awaited reissue of Tom Petty's Wildflowers. This was the Wildflowers and all the rest, so this was the 3 LP version. So this is the Wildflowers, original Wildflowers record on the first 2 discs, and then all the rest on the last disc. Fantastic record. In my opinion, actually, all the rest is the bonus tracks are probably equally as good, if not better, than the main album. So great stuff. And not an awful lot I need more to say about that. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it, or majority of people do anyway. Okay, so last record you got in 2021. The last record I bought online, I've already shown, which was the Gil Evans Orchestra. So this is the last record I picked up from Ben's in December last year, and this is the fantastic Shirley Collins and the Albion Country Band. It's called No Roses. So this is an album from 1971. Classic English folk album, with a kind of real who's who of progressive and traditional folk artists accompanying Shirley on this. Absolute classic record. Probably going back a couple of years, I wouldn't have appreciated this because it's probably a little bit too traditional. Since streaming it and listening to it fairly recently, I came to realize that Shirley Collins just has a fantastic natural delivery with her voice. Really started to resonate with me, and I was very glad to pick up this really nice UK, I think it's a second press, certainly a very early press anyway. So that's Shirley Collins and the Albion Country Band. Okay, show pre-order adventure you got in 2021. I pre-ordered probably at least 2 records online. I didn't receive either of them, which was a bit frustrating. One of those was Bartleby, which was a soundtrack that Dale Gatefold 33 showed back last summer, which I think he bought previously. It was due to be pressed and reissued in September, and then it got put back and back and back and back, and in the end I didn't actually receive one. So, but you know, it's just the one that got away. I'm sure I'll get one eventually. So there you go. Show a cheapo record from 2021. So this is quite a recent purchase. This is Parchment's debut, Light Up the Fire. So Parchment, they're a Christian folk band from Liverpool. Yeah, this is a wonderful record. It's not a perfect record by any means. Some of it's a little bit twee, but there's about 3 or 4 songs on it that are absolutely just fantastic and just have that wonderful kind of psych folk, kind of slightly transcendent kind of feel about them, and more than make up for the other lesser songs on the record. So yeah. As I say, I think I paid about a £5 for this, so not bad at all. Okay, record you spent the most on in 2021. I bought probably 2 or 3 records at least in 2021 that I possibly spent slightly more than I would have liked to have spent. This one I certainly did, certainly falls into that category, but it's one that I'd been looking for and is quite hard to come by, given the fact that it was never repressed after its initial release, and that's the wonderful Scott 4 on first UK press on Philips. Yeah, I paid 3 figures for this, but yeah, you just never see this in the wild. I've been looking out for a copy for this probably for about 3 years, and I ended up buying a repress, which was pretty good, to be fair. Yeah, just I love Scott Walker, and I just wanted to get his first 4 albums, the original presses of them, and I kind of ended up finding them in order. Ironically, obviously this one, because it's the hardest one to come by, arguably the best, although I think the 3rd album sometimes is almost as good as this as well. So yeah, so that's the Sublime Scott 4. Okay, a record from a brand new band artist, or the closest to it. Okay, this I don't tend to buy, as people who watch my videos regularly, I don't tend to buy an awful lot of music by contemporary artists. I tend to buy and prefer to buy older records, usually because I'm an old fart, of course. But every now and again, I hear a record by a contemporary artist that I really like. And this one definitely fell into that category. This is Lucy Dacus, or Dacus. So she's an American modern sort of indie folk artist. And it's not her first album. I think this is a 3rd maybe, or 4th record even. But she's I think she's still pretty young. Still in her sort of mid-20s, early mid-20s. This is a great record. Certainly the first side of it is pretty flawless. The second side isn't quite so engaging, but yeah, VBS and Cartwheel, 2 absolutely sublime or standout songs on this for me. So yeah, great stuff. That's Lucy Dacus, or Dacus. Okay, show a record most out of your comfort zone. This is a record that I bought at the time that was definitely out of my comfort zone. I was kind of starting to sort of put the feelers out into the sort of world of jazz, and I think I probably bit off a little bit more than I could chew at the time when I bought this. And I still struggle with it now. That's Eric Dolphy and Out to Lunch. So this is 1964 album Blue Note. Yeah, Eric Dolphy. Strange record. This is very angular, very weird, free jazz kind of thing. There was a lot of other records that I've subsequently bought which were far more musical, let's say, than this, and accessible. There are musical moments, obviously, on this for sure, like a majority of jazz records of this era, but this is definitely one that is definitely otherworldly, and I do stick it on every now and again, because I do listen to some quite weird out there stuff these days, but this is one strangely that I still doesn't quite click with me. So it's a bit like Bitches Brew Miles Davis. I don't get it. you know. I appreciate that it's good. I appreciate that it's a revered record, but it just doesn't quite hit the spot for me. But I persevere with it. So there you go. Show your pride dig of 2021, or album that you're most proud of. This is one that had eluded me for many years. When I first started buying records from Ben about 6 years ago, this was the first one on my want list. I had seen it one time while I was on holiday, but I picked it out, and I was in a hurry, and the guy couldn't give me a price on it. It wasn't priced up, and then he was on the phone, and he was umming and ahhing and blah blah blah, and it just went on and on and on. And I lost patience and walked out the shop. So maybe shot myself in the foot there. But last year Ben came up with the goods for me, and this is the wonderful Roy Harper and his 1974 release Valentine. Wonderful record. Not particularly rare or hard to come by. It's just one that I hadn't. You got to be in the right place at the right time sometimes to find these records. I also wanted to hold out to get one, ideally from the first or second press, which had the mail order lyric sheet with it as well, which wasn't released with the first or second issue of it. You had to order it. I think later pressings they stopped printing these, so this is sort of die cut on the front with the heart there, and you open it up, and picture of Roy on stage there, and all the lyrics of the songs within, and some nice photos of Roy performing. So really pleased to snag that one. It didn't cost me the earth either, so it was even better. Show record you got in the past year, style you're finally starting to fully embrace, or at least seriously investigate. So this was one which initially I thought would be completely out of my comfort zone, but it's a krautrock album that I streamed and really enjoyed, actually, and it surprised me. This is a band called Caravan, and this is their album from 1969, I think, called Electric. Quite a groundbreaking, sort of funky jazz kind of fusion album, I guess. Musically, really, really interesting. Very, very left field, quirky, angular, as you'd probably expect. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this, and certainly will be looking for more of their of their stuff if I come across it. Probably won't go out my way to look for it, but definitely they're now kind of on my radar. So good stuff. Okay, where are we up to? Show a record from a band of your youth or teens that you finally got on wax last year. What have I mixed one? This one. Yeah, okay. That is this band. This is XTC. So yeah, my sister was always quite a big XTC fan, certainly in terms of the singles. Making Plans for Nigel, she used to play on heavy rotation, but my sister would always do that when she got a new single that she'd play, and she'd just play it over and over again infinitum, and it would either get under your skin or you'd just be kind of sticking your fingers in your ear, and it would just drive you near to the brink. So, but yeah, and this was a record that I used to see people show all the time on the VC, and I used to play it, and I couldn't get into it at all. I just couldn't get it. I didn't see what all the fuss was about. And then last year, I played it again because I used to play this Stream of Spat every 6 months. Because I used to think, well, enough people are shouting about how good it is. It's got to be worth. What am I missing? What aren't I seeing with this record? And I played it, and it just clicked with me. Yeah, wonderfully folky, less angular than their kind of earlier albums, and yeah, just it's a brilliantly realized double album. Wonderful songs that yeah, finally just kind of clicked with me. I always liked Senses Working Overtime, which was the single off this, but also like Runaway, fantastic, and Ball and Chain, fantastic songs. So yeah, that's XTC and English Settlement. Okay. Look, most anticipated record of 2022. Obviously, I can't show that because I haven't got that. But yeah, I say anticipated, not from a new artist as such, but certainly Michael Chapman's first album is the one that I'm really going to be looking out for this year. An original copy of that would be absolutely fantastic, or even a reissue. I'd even take a reissue of that. I did actually see a reissue online, but it was going for something like about 250 quid, which was just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I wouldn't even pay that for an original. So crazy. But yeah, hopefully I'll snag that at some stage this year with a bit of luck. Okay. Hopefully not missing any of these out. Records you love but haven't shown much love of late. I normally rotate or play most of my albums at least once every 18 months, 2 years. This is one that I probably haven't played certainly since I've since the COVID outbreak, because I had some CDs before I moved back into my mum's from my old place, and one of those records, well, I didn't have any of my records with me, I just had my CD player. I had this record on CD, it's definitely one that I have loved and loved dearly since I was a nipper, and would be looking to. It's been long overdue to play it again. This is Kate Bush's wonderful debut, Kick Inside. This is always a toss-up between this one and The Dreaming from '82, her fourth album. I like them both equally, but for different reasons. This one I find much more accessible. The Dreaming is, I've got to be in the right frame of mind for it, but it is an amazing album. As I say, it's one I have to be in the mood for. But long overdue to play this. So Kate Bush's Kick Inside. Okay, show a Turnpoint record that opened a brand new path in your collection. Okay, this is kind of in reverse, really, because these are records that I used to, or I'd heard back in the kind of mid '80s, when I first started to really seriously collect records, and I finally came across the band's first album, and decided to collect the other two, although he has done more than that. This is White Noise, David Vorhaus. So this is the experimental, groundbreaking, electronic, sort of psychedelic artist band. They were basically David Vorhaus and Delia Derbyshire, who Brian Hodgson, who were part or involved with the sort of BBC radiophonic workshop. Delia Derbyshire, of course, the original Doctor Who theme, etc. Amongst other things. Very, very groundbreaking album. First side of this I love, very quirky, and sort of almost comedic, really enjoyable listen. The second side, Visitation and The Black Mass, is much harder to listen to, but none less compelling. I'm sure a lot of you know this record anyway. It's a kind of classic record of its genre. But yeah, once I'd got that, I then decided to get the other ones. So White Noise 2. This was the record Concerto for Synthesizer, which David Vorhaus did from 1975 on Virgin. And a bit of an acquired listen, this one. Don't enjoy this as much as the first one, but it's still an interesting record. And then the third one, which is from 1980, very kind of much more space age kind of trippy voyage out of the earth kind of thing. Re-entry, White Noise 3. He's done several albums since this, but I haven't found or investigated them, but I'm sure I will at some stage. Okay, I'll get to show a non-music purchase from last year. Okay, well, this one just came in at the end of last year. I had the soundtrack album, which is Tangerine Dream Sorcerer. This is the film itself, DVD, which I haven't got around to watching yet. William Friedkin movie from 1977. Tangerine Dream's first soundtrack. So obviously William Friedkin, the director of The Exorcist. I've read lots and lots about this film, and I've been recommended it from several people. It's got Roy Scheider in it. I think it's a group of crooks who are given the opportunity to sort of escape their situation by taking a truck full of gelignite to deliver a truck full of gelignite, and their kind of perilous journey. Very dark tale, but sounds incredibly compelling, and I'm really, really looking forward to watching this for the first time over the weekend. So yeah, that's the William Friedkin directed film Sorcerer. Okay. Where are we? Show a record from a band from the past that you totally bypassed until recently. Okay, this was a band that, not a band that I'd bypassed, but certainly a record that had eluded me. I had his later album, In the Right Place. This is Dr. John and the Night Tripper. So this is Sun, Moon and Herbs. So Dr. John, yeah, fantastic bluesy swampy rock from 1971. Ben got a copy of this in. I think he was playing it when I actually went into the shop, and I said, "Oh, this is great. What's that?" And he told me obviously that he'd got this in, and I was very happy to pick it up. So I think it kind of coincided with the record store. I think this was released or reissued for Record Store Day or a special edition of it. I'm not sure, but had this not been available and I'd heard it, I would have probably looked to have picked that up. Anyway, so it's Dr. John and Night Tripper. Okay. Record you got in 2021 that took the longest time to find from your want list. Bizarre this was. And this isn't even an original. This is the United States of America. It's a bit like the David Vorhaus, a sort of very experimental late 60s electronic experimental album, but just wonderful songwriting, completely guitar light, in fact no guitars on it at all. It's got bass drums and kind of early kind of proto synth effects and so on, but just really atmospheric, interesting, original, doesn't sound like anything else. It was reissued in this kind of, as it came originally, with the kind of brown bag sleeve. That's the original cover. Again, this is a kind of classic, so I'm sure many of you have this, or you know about it. So okay, getting near the end now. VCLT. Oh, longest. Hang on a minute. I've missed a couple of these out actually. Look. Okay. I've gone out of I've gone out of sync with some of these, so I'll go back on them. Show a record from a band. Oh God, hang on. Oh, bollocks. What the hell? I've completely thrown myself now. Show a record that you got as a present or VCLT in 2021. Okay, well, I've shown some VCLT that I got from Martin Parrott in Rob's last final tag. So this was from the year before, and this was from Simon at Vinyl Dale. Very best of Eddie Cochran, fantastic rock and roll compilation. Yeah, just the first 3 songs on this, 1, 2, 3 punch. Yeah, come on everybody, 3 Steps to Heaven and Weekend. Wonderful stuff. We've also got obviously Something Else, version of Blue Suede Shoes, Summertime Blues. I mean, God, yeah, hugely influential on likes of Pete Townsend, etc. Real blueprint for a lot of 60s rockers. Eddie Cochran, fantastic stuff. Okay. Show a record that you plan to give as VCLT, or that you'd like to give as VCLT to a fellow VCer. Okay, so I've already discussed this with the person who I'm looking to give this to. This is Consequences, Godling Cream. This is the concept record that they put together in 1977 after leaving 10cc. It's kind of real split camp on this. Some people hate it. Most notably my brother. He can't stand this record. I love it. I love the inventiveness of the music within, but I also love the humour of Peter Cook, who does the libretto. I think it's really funny. Yeah, it's a bit un-PC, some of the humour in it, but what the fuck, I don't care. You know, it's entertaining. It makes me smile. Yeah, and it's really original. So yeah, I would like to give this to James Griffiths, and we have discussed this, and he seemed to insist that I didn't post it to him because of the postage. It's a triple album with a kind of booklet and everything. So, but this will be winging its way to you at some stage, James. Maybe we'll meet up at some stage and I can give it to you in person, or we can come to some arrangement. But anyway, that's some future VCLT. Okay, show a record that you bought that no one seems to have noticed and that you wish to share. Okay, so okay, I don't think anybody else has ever shown this record. I could be wrong. If they have, I haven't seen it. This is a record I picked up a couple of years ago by a group called The End. This was a pop psychedelic group from 1968 that was produced by Bill Wyman of the Rolling Stones, and it's fantastic. Really, really interesting record. Kind of flopped at the time, didn't sell, which is bizarre because they toured with the Stones. You'd have thought with that level of exposure they would have got some traction, but yeah, it kind of sunk without a trace, and has since become a rare collector's item. This was reissued, as you can see, in 2018 for Record Store Day. I didn't pick this up for Record Store Day. I picked this up, as I said, a couple of years ago from Ben's. I streamed it, loved it. This is a double album release. So it's the original album and also a second album of outtakes and alternate versions, and it's wonderful that you get a chance to snag that. Highly recommend that. Okay, and finally, music that makes you want to dance. Well, I'm 6'4" or thereabouts. I've never really been into clubbing. I don't particularly like dance music. I can't dance for toffee. I'm extremely self-conscious when I dance because I can't dance very well, and being tall, obviously, you kind of stand out in the crowd, so it's very difficult to kind of blend into the background. But if I was to dance, I would probably want to dance to this, or this certainly makes me want to get up and dance. This is The Wonderful Tourists, so Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart, prior to their fame with Eurythmics. This is from 1979, I think. And the fantastic So Good to Be Back Home Again. Just a wonderful, ebullient, upbeat, joyous pop song. Absolutely wonderful. Never get sick of it. And if I'm feeling really, really down, I only have to put that record on and it just lifts me up. Wonderful stuff. Okay, so thanks to Stunty for putting this tag together. Guys, all it remains for me to say is have a great weekend, enjoy yourselves, avoid COVID, and I'll speak to you again soon. Cheers, guys. All the best. Bye-bye.